Hi friends, Doug Marsh, the Director of Royal Rangers International, coming to you in this Facebook campaign for the Royal Rangers International Inner Circle. And right now I just want to challenge you with a missions thought, and it is simply this, that missions is to be an integral part of every Royal Rangers Outpost ministry. It's not an extra that you come along and add on like a cherry on top of ice cream or something. It is an integral, an important part of the whole. If the outpost is to be healthy, it should include a very strong missions component. It's kind of like this peach. I love peaches, and we have a lot of great ones here. And like every fruit or vegetable, God created them with a means to reproduce themselves. And of course that is the seed that is in the middle. But the important thing to remember is that I'm going to be able to enjoy this peach here in just a few moments because someone was intentional not only to recognize that the peach has a seed that will allow it to produce more fruit, but they actually took the time to pull the seed and plant it and then care for the new sapling that was coming out until it began to produce more fruit. And that's important to remember because there are a lot of Royal Ranger groups, I fear, who may recognize the importance of reproducing themselves, but may not be taking the time and the initiative to do so. So let me explain. Jesus said in Matthew chapter 28 to go into all the world and preach the gospel. He didn't offer it up as a suggestion. He didn't offer it up as a good idea. It is an integral part of the Christian message to take the gospel to everyone, to reproduce the relationship you enjoy, help others to enjoy it as well. Jesus was a master at this. He made the outsider an insider. And that's the whole purpose of missions, is to take those who are not part of the family and make them adopted children into the family of God, and with all the rights and privileges. And that's missions. Jesus, before he ascended into heaven, told his disciples to go to Jerusalem and wait there for the power and the promise of the Holy Spirit. And the reason was because it was going to empower them to fulfill the mission of going into all the world and taking the gospel. And he tells them, go to reach those in Jerusalem, reach those in Judea, reach those in Samaria, and reach those all the way to the ends of the earth. And what Jesus was saying is, reach those that are close to you and very much like you. That was Jerusalem. The people who were hearing Jesus understood, these people in Jerusalem are like me, and they are very near me, so I can reach them. Then he says Judea, that was the surrounding countryside. He didn't want them to just stay right where they were at. Begin this reaching out process. Those were a little further, but they were still probably very much like those of the city of Jerusalem. Then he says go to Samaria, and we won't go into all of the historical background, but there was a lot of rift there, and Jesus is saying you have to overlook the cultural and the historical differences and reach those that are a little further away and maybe not quite like you. They're different from you. You reach them as well. You never overlook them. And then he says, and you will go to the ends of the earth, which means you'll go to those that are far from you and very, very different from you historically and culturally. And that is the way the gospel is replicated. It's the way it's reproduced, is when we are involved in missions in this way. And the outcome is people that are outside the gospel become insiders. They become part of the family of God. And in Rangers, we get that opportunity to be reaching those nearby. You should be reaching the kids that are attending your church and in the surrounding community. That's your Jerusalem and Judea. But there may be a church near you that or close to you that is reaching people that you can't reach. And maybe they don't have a Ranger outpost, and you could help them start an outpost. That would be a way of going and helping them reach people that are different from you, but that you can still have an influence on. That's your mission. That's your responsibility. But then there are those that the church sends, and those are the missionaries. Leadership of the church recognizes God's call in their life and sends them as missionaries. And then we come rallying around our leaders and saying, okay, these men and women, they have been recognized. Their call has been validated to be those that go and reach those that are far and different from me. And that's what missionaries are. and you and I get to send them. And so when we come to you in this Inner Circle Facebook campaign and we ask you to be a part of the Inner Circle, we're asking you to do that because there are people far from you that you will never be able to reach, different from you, and you will never be able to reach them. But when you support the Inner Circle, guess what? You're going to be allowing people far from you, different from you, to have access to the gospel, and there's nothing greater. And the reality is that when you reach those near you and like you, near you and different from you, and then you send others to reach those far from you and different from you, the amazing thing is that Jesus and God will bless you, and that is why we ask you without any hesitation to join the Inner Circle. So thank you. Remember, make missions an integral part of your local Outpost ministry. Thank you and God bless.